Mikhailo Mudryk, we updated yesterday on this story between Arsenal and Shakhtar Donetsk. Negotiations ongoing for Mikhailo Mudryk, with Arsenal making a new bid around 50 million euros guaranteed fee plus add-ons. So Arsenal have improved their proposal for Mudryk, but now it's on Shakhtar. So I'm told that the two clubs are still in direct conversation. There is direct exchange every single day between Arsenal and Shakhtar, but at the moment the deal is not done yet. We have to wait for the two clubs to reach an agreement on the fee, and it's on Shakhtar now because Arsenal are trying, Arsenal are pushing. It's Shakhtar now who has to decide on the situation of Mikhailo Mudryk.
We've heard there from Fabrizio Romano. The new bid is in. It's down to Shakhtar the next, but he has also confirmed that a deal involving Chelsea Football Club, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Mikhailo Mudryk is on. Chelsea and Shakhtar will discuss about the player in the next 24 hours. Also, Arsenal remain in direct contact, as he has said. But a firm conversation is going to take place. Chelsea are monitoring the situation. Could there be a hijack? Even though Arsenal have agreed the personal terms, this has been very well publicized. The player has been twerking for Arsenal. They are leading the race. There is a big confidence from the Arsenal camp that a deal will be agreed, that their second offer could be enough. But Chelsea are not going away. We're going to delve into this story in more detail. Look at what Fabrizio has said, what Sky Sports are saying this morning, and the brilliant David Ornstein. Smash the like and share button. Let's go. As stated here by Fabrizio Romano, the second proposal for Mikhailo Mudryk is close to 50 million fixed plus add-ons. Shakhtar expects to make a decision. The clubs are in direct contact. Personal terms, never an issue. Code for have been agreed. The player knows what Arsenal are going to offer. The player is willing to join. That agreement is in place. However, Chelsea are monitoring the situation. We've heard from Fabrizio Romano's tweet. Let's take a look here what David Ornstein has had to say about the situation.
However, I think what it reiterates, Ed, is that they'll look to do some business in the January market. They need, or they want, a couple of players. It's been quite well documented now. Mudryk, who you talked about there, with Chelsea. Chelsea are monitoring the situation. I don't know if they will beat Arsenal to it. Let's see. Mudryk has been quite clear in stating his desire to join Chelsea. And then João Felix as well.
I think it's a slip of the tongue there from David Ornstein. He does say, we know that Mudryk's desire has been to join Arsenal. So just not twist what David Ornstein has said. I think that's just a little slip of the tongue. He meant Arsenal. I'm sure he's probably already tweeted or will do to clarify that slight mistake. But Ornstein, Jacob Steinbeck, and Fabrizio have all confirmed that Chelsea are monitoring the situation, have had talks, or will be having talks regarding this situation. And the hijack is there. The conversation of Mudryk to Chelsea is on. And if we know what the word on means, I use the word on to say active, possible, there in the background. Maybe it could happen. But let's not get it twisted. As it stands right now, 4th of January, 2023, Arsenal were the favourites. Arsenal were leading the race. Arsenal were very, very close to a complete agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk. Personal terms agreed. The player has expressed publicly on a number of occasions his desire to join Arsenal. Does it mean 100% there'll be no hijack? Does it mean 100% Chelsea can't get him? No, it doesn't mean that. It's never meant that. I don't think anybody could be that sure. And that's why you won't get, in my opinion, any of the quote-unquote tier ones say he's an Arsenal player 110%. Nobody's going to take that risk. Nobody is going to take that risk just for something crazy to happen. The one thing I would say is this is playing well into Shakhtar's hands because they publicly wanted 100 million. And then they stated that they were publicly stated by a lot of journalists that Arsenal know they'll take a lot less. The first bid was rejected as a marker. The second bid has come in, and there's genuine consideration, meaning Shakhtar are thinking about it. When the Chelsea links first came out, it was played down as the agent or Shakhtar playing games. But in my humble opinion, Jacob Steinbeck, David Ornstein, and Fabrizio Romano are not going to go on record to state that Chelsea are interested, that Chelsea are willing to buy him, that Chelsea are going to have talks if Chelsea weren't genuinely interested. Those journalists are not going to damage their reputations with that club. They're not going to burn relationships with that club. They're not going to do that between themselves and Chelsea. They wouldn't do it. There is genuine interest. This plays into Shakhtar's hands because it will now maybe force Arsenal into being a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more direct, and maybe having to increase that bid again. Let's take a look at what Sky Sports have had to say this morning.
I want around £85 million for the 21-year-old. It's obviously a lot of money. One source close to the deal telling us Arsenal are prepared to get a bit closer to that deal. So clearly the two sides are in negotiations. You only need to look at Mudryk's social media to see that the lad wants the move.
And that's very, very important to focus on. We know he wants that move to Arsenal. It's very, very true indeed.
I mean, he's already, we all know he's watching Arsenal games. He's already described Mikel Arteta as a top manager. He's even using British parlance to describe an English manager as a top manager. So, look, we know he's keen. It's his birthday tomorrow. He turns 22. So could we see a nice snazzy Arsenal signing video, including a cake? Look, I mean, look, it feels like the player wants the move and only the move to Arsenal. So it's
And look, Sky, there have been a lot more kind of bullshit than the transfer journalists and the Ornsteins of this world. But I agree with him. I think the player does want Arsenal. The only people that are going to benefit from this situation are going to be Shakhtar. I think the player will pick Arsenal. I think Arsenal will get it done. I believe the only way this deal falls through for the Gunners is if they pull away, if the deal collapses, which actually echoes what the journalists have said. It's more Chelsea waiting for it to collapse. How does it collapse? If Chelsea are willing to pay Shakhtar more money than Arsenal will, and if they can turn Mudryk's head. That's the important bit here. And that's the question I want you to answer. Look at the tweets, listen to the videos. Can Mudryk's head be turned? That is what this comes down to. Can Mudryk's head be turned by Chelsea? Because if Chelsea turn his head, and if Chelsea say, listen, we're going to make you a starter for Chelsea, pay you X amount, then Shakhtar can hold on for that money from Chelsea. But if Mudryk says, no, I want to be an Arsenal player and I want to leave, then then Arsenal may need to bid a little bit more money just to like put this thing to bed, but there's no real risk at all. But what my fervent belief is this: Mudryk's first choice, in my opinion, is Arsenal. And that's going by the interviews, what he said, what he's putting out on social media, and of course, listening to the credible, in-the-know journalists, the Ben Jacobs, the Steinbecks, the Fabrizio Romanos of this world. And Chelsea will only make their move if the Gunners deal collapses. So if his mind is changed. But Chelsea are actively working on this deal. So what Arsenal need to do, in my opinion, because they need the player as well. Let's not take it away from the circus of transfers. Arsenal need the extra player. Arsenal need him on that bench. Get it done. The director of Shakhtar is expected in London this week. Yes, he's going to see Chelsea. He's going to see Chelsea. But we know he's going to see Arsenal as well. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on the direction of this deal. What do you think is going on? Arsenal 110% leading this race, but the hijack is on. The hijack is real. This isn't media talk. How is this going to play out? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. I want to know your opinions on this story. Make sure like buttons are being smashed, as I always say, and subscribe. More content coming for you later on today with straight facts with Lee Gunner, match reactions to the Tottenham Crystal Palace game as well. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's been supporting the Terrace over this last 12 months. Over 50% growth on our views. Average view time is off the charts at the moment, with nearly 75% of all videos being watched. You are the most, and I've said this many, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You are literally the best footballing community out there. There's no doubt about it. You are the best. So I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you that tunes in, that leaves comments, that hits like buttons. You're doing us very, very proud indeed. But until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again soon.